So as soon as I feel that arm come through, right, it goes, I kind of just skydive and rotate. And I'm really dropping all of my weight onto the shoulder. I'll end up with an underhook, and this is gonna naturally be an overhook, okay? So now, I wanna have as much weight on this arm as possible. I'm starting to look to set up a north-south choke. My underhook is gonna become an overhook on his head, just like you would in EAV. And I wanna take up as much space as possible between like my bicep and my ribs. So I start to really drive my arm all the way through. Elbows on the floor, and I get here. I'm gonna keep walking backwards until I can get my arm through his elbow and then start to pin this to the side. Right? I need to have control over this arm because if I don't, he can just reset back to side control. He can just walk his feet. Now I'm back to side control and I don't have north-south. But if I'm able to pin his arm to his side like this, it's very difficult for him to turn back into side control. So I keep this pinned and then I just keep getting lower and lower. I could then use this hand to like punch him in the neck or push his head further into my elbow pit. But a lot of times we just get here, we just keep going back until our head can get down to the floor. And I'll keep my hands flat. So keep going back. And then if I can't go back any further, I'll start to go to the side so that I start to bring his head towards his shoulder like this and wrapping it around my biceps. See how red his face is? It's awesome. You right? Yeah. So again, I like to just keep my hands flat and use the friction of the mat to push off of. You could grab your wrist, you can go S grip, you can turn into like this mortar and pestle grip, you can put both hands underneath the neck. There's a bunch of grips you can use for the north-south. But once we get here, underhook, overhook, all my weight is on that shoulder. I'm trying to sit all the way down to his shoulder. I can punch through and I'm already going palm down with that choking arm. Right? If I have to, I can kind of like shove him further into that elbow pit and I'm kind of leaning on my ribs. But I have to start trapping this to the side so I can get my head down. The last thing I'm gonna do when I start to go for this choke, and again, I'm going straight backwards, is I wanna pinch my elbow to my ribs to get like my lat engaged in the choke. So I'm here, start to come down, shrink, yeah, there it is. I'm here wrapped around his neck. By pulling my elbow down to my hip, I'll naturally flare my lat, which will compress even more space into that choke. Good? So good. All right, on 2 and 2.